Hello student, this video will discuss the concluding portion of Learning Objective 2 of Chapter 6, Deduction from AGI, Itemized Deductions. We have finished some of the items that are they can be deducted from AGI in the first portion of this Learning Objective video. So just remember there are two videos for this Learning Objective. We're going to continue with casualty and theft losses on personal use assets. A casualty loss must be sudden, unexpected, or unusual events such as fire, storm, or shipwreck, or loss from theft. The amount of tax loss from any specific casualty event, including theft, is the lesser of 1. The decline in value of the property caused by the casualty, or 2. the taxpayer's tax basis in the damaged or stolen asset. The loss is reduced by any insurance reimbursements, and the deductible loss reduces the taxpayer's basis in the underlying asset. Please see example 6-23 on page 6-24. Casualty loss deduction floor limitations. Similar to the medical expense deduction limitation, there are two separate floor limitations for the specific casualty loss to qualify. The first is $100 for each casualty event during the event to eliminate small losses. This is sort of you had lost more than $100. The second floor limitation is 10% of AGI, or the loss must be greater than 10% of AGI. Please reference example 6-24 on page 6-25. Miscellaneous itemized deductions were subject to AGI floor. All miscellaneous deductions are summarized and only deductible when the sum is greater than 2% of AGI. Employee business expenses that benefit the employee or needed to advance one's employment are deductible as miscellaneous itemized deduction. And this one is quite simple and straightforward. You can see example 6-25 and 26 on pages 6-27 and 26 and 27. Travel and transportation. An employee may take a miscellaneous deduction for all travels required for business, excluding commuting from one's residence to the place of employment or business. Meals and lodging needed during business travels are allowed a 50% deduction. All mileages are deducted as 56% per mile for 2014. Please check your updated rate based on the IRS announcement. This one you can reference example 6-27 on page 6-28. Employee expense reimbursement. Employees include reimbursements in gross income and deduct employee business expense as miscellaneous itemized deduction under an accountable plan where employees must submit supporting documentation for legitimate business or for reimbursement. Then employees do not need to include reimbursement for gross income and disallow miscellaneous item deduction for the non-reimbursed portion. See example 6-28 on page 6-28. What about investment expenses? All necessary expenses incurred for the production of collection of income will qualify. This rule applies to the management and maintenance of property held for income production. Common investment expenses are number 1, expenses associated with investment income or property. Number 2, investment advisory fees. Number 3, safe deposit box fees. Number 4, subscription to investment-related publications. Tax preparation fees. When expenses incurred to determine the tax obligation from various taxing authorities, federal, state, municipal, or foreign, are deductible if the amount of tax preparation fees exceed 2% of AGI. Please reference example 6-29 on page 6-29. Next one, we'll discuss hobby losses. Hobby expenses are deductible only to the extent the revenue generated by the hobby. Hobby losses are generally non-deductible. However, if the activities qualify under one, many, or all of the factors as stated on page 6-29, the associated expenses may be deductible. A general rule to distinguish business activity from hobby activity is to generate a profile in 3 of the consecutive years. See example 6-13, pages 6-30 and 31. Limitation on miscellaneous itemized deduction. There's a 2% of AGI floor. The sum of all miscellaneous itemized deduction is subject to the 2% floor limitation, which is reduced by 2% of AGI. If sum of all miscellaneous itemized deduction is greater than 2% of AGI, the deductible amount is the sum minus 2% of AGI. If sum of all miscellaneous itemized deduction is less than 2% of AGI, no miscellaneous itemized deductions are allowed. This one, see example 6-30 on page 6-31. Miscellaneous item deductions not subject to any floor. Some miscellaneous item deductions are not subject to AGI floor. Number 1, net gambling losses, not to offset gambling winnings in gross income. Number 2, casualty and theft losses on property held for investment. Number 3, unrecovered cost of a life annuity, death before full recovery of cost. Phrase out itemized deduction. Taxpayers' total itemized deduction is subject to a phrase out. When AGI is greater than certain amount, itemized deductions are reduced. This one, you may want to see Appendix A in this chapter for calculation, and also example 6-1A, both on page 6-30A. Also, example 6-32 on page 6-32. It's also another good exercise for you. So let's look at the excluding certain expenses for the total itemized deduction. Excluding medical expense, casualty losses, investment interest expense, and gambling losses. These are all part of this total itemized deduction allowed. So for this one, for this video, that we conclude the second portion of the 2 videos of Learning Objective 2 in Chapter 6. Please post your questions in virtual office or discussion for the week this chapter is assigned. Thank you.